guys, it's Alex, and today I'd like to talk about what generation Mustang does what best. So that's kind of a loaded question, or a loaded little statement there. So basically, let's think about it this way. If you wanted to have the quickest stock motor generation Mustang, and whether it be boosted or naturally aspirated, which one should you choose? A lot of people right now are just getting into Coyote because whether they were into Camaro, whether they into Dodge or anything, and they see the Mustang really doing well, and me talking about it a lot makes people curious, and they go, you know what? I'm really curious to get into the Mustang scene, but I don't know what to do, and I don't know which one to get. Hey, Alex, could you guide me? And I get emails all the time of long-winded emails of people just trying to find out information and just to sort of get information as to what they want to do and which one to get, because they don't want to buy the wrong car if they want to do a certain thing. So this is what I tell them, or I ask them. I say, what do you want to do? Do you want a drag race? Do you want a drag race naturally aspirated? Do you want a stick shift car or an auto car? What do you want? So what I'm going to do is make a video to try to help you in your decision making if you're interested in a Coyote. A lot of people are seeing the Gen 3 Coyote just perform insanely well, but it does have its shortcomings. The Gen 1 Coyote, a lot of people are afraid when it comes to boost because it's limited to about 720 to about 750 rear wheel horsepower. Right around there, the motor starts to chuck rods. So let's try to whittle it down as to what generation does what best. Okay, now let's talk about Gen 1 Coyote 11 to 14. My favorite in terms of looks, performance, how the car feels, how it's really similar to a Fox body in my opinion in terms of feel. So the Gen 1 Coyote started in 2011 and it took the world by storm. It immediately started making a bunch of power. It was up 130 horsepower from the previous model. So people immediately started throwing boost at it, this and this and that, and they found the limits really quickly. What I think the 11 to 14 Gen 1 Coyote is best at is naturally aspirated performance. Okay, if you get the following parts, you can have a 10-second naturally aspirated Gen 1 Coyote, LU47 injector, a Cobra Jet intake manifold, a PMOS cold air intake, a booster pump, whether it be a JMS, VMP, Vortec, or Kenny Bell booster pump, and you're going to run ethanol, whether it be Ignite, whether it be pump ethanol, or if you really want to party, you can use something like an FTW, which is like some crazy oxygenated, nitro-filled, whatever. It's just plain badass, but it really taxes your fuel system. That combination right there can get you well into the tens and close to 450, 460 rear wheel horsepower. Now, if you really want to spend a little more money, you get a set of cams. The cams will bring up the power range, up the power band, more so past 5,000 RPMs, whereas the stock cams, they do shine pretty well under 5,000 RPMs, but the stock cams are just fine. But with cams, I have seen cars make 490 and some touch 500 rear wheel horsepower. Now, you can stuff a Gen 2 short block into a Gen 1 car, but let's stick with the engines that they came with. Because 9 times out of 10, you're not going to buy an S197 Coyote car and then buy a motor from a Gen 2 or a Gen 2 short block and do that. You're going to try to go as far as you can with the motor that it came with. So, a 2011 to 2014 S197 has a solid axle. You can stuff a 15-inch rear tire in it pretty easily with basically a sway bar relocation kit and buy yourself a 15 by 10 and voila, you have yourself a pretty beefy setup. Control arms, plenty of places make control arms, plenty of places make springs. I have seen Ben Calamer run 1030s. I have seen Ollie, actually is his name Ollie? No, Alex. I have seen Alex in Houston run a little bit quicker than Ben Calamer. And also the S197 out of all three generations, Gen 1, Gen 2, Gen 3, is the lightest. It has a solid axle and it's the lightest. It is made for drag racing. It is made for drag racing in naturally aspirated form. I think the S197 outshines any of the other generations, Gen 1, Gen 2, Gen 3. Now, let's talk about boost. Anytime you boost anything, you're going to find the limits pretty quickly. And when they started boosting Gen 1s, the limit was around 750 rear wheel horsepower. Then rods just started to exit stage left. The S550 changed that because the S550 motor is similar to a Roadrunner engine, Boss 302s. Those cars were very stout, had great engines. I personally would love myself a silver and red Laguna Seca Boss 302 if I can find one in the future. That is a bucket list car for me. I love it. I love it for its rarity. I love it for its look. I just love that car. To me, when I look at a Laguna Seca S197 Boss 302, I think it's great, gorgeous, and there is no better looking car in my opinion. But the Gen 2 Mustang, the 2015 and up Gen 2 Mustang and Gen 2 motor has proven itself to be an insanely well-rounded setup for boost. That's right, guys with twin turbo kits are running 8s with stock motor, stock cams, stock heads, stock everything. Obviously, they have boost, but in terms of the engine itself, it's untouched. So the Gen 2 motor rendered the Gen 1 motor, when it comes to boost, useless. A lot of people that have Gen 1 Mustangs are now stuffing Gen 2 motors in it, and I think that's a great option if you can swing it. But if you want to buy the vehicle and work with the motor that it came with, in my opinion, it doesn't get much better than the Gen 2. Now let's talk about Gen 3, which is 2018 and up. In my opinion, if you want to go 10s with minimal mods, an automatic Gen 3 is the way to go. That means minimal mods like E85, long tubes, and maybe a gear ratio change, and then remove the seats. The cars have gone 10s in good weather. No cams, no nothing crazy. A cold air, long tubes, off-road exhaust, 410 gears or 409 is what comes in the IRS style pumpkin or is available. And I'm telling you, those cars are absolutely moving out running 10s. But when it comes to boost, currently, we are now in 2018, okay? Currently, when it comes to boost, big boost, 900 and up, I still don't trust a 2018 motor. Now, a lot of people say, but this guy's running 860s and he's making almost 1100 wheel. Right, one car. All the others are in the low 9-second range, and depending on the shop, depending on the people who you talk to, they've had multiple motors go through them. We've experienced a lot of cars that have premature engine failure at what we thought were power levels that the Gen 2 could handle no problem. So you would think in your head, well, if Gen 2 handled 850, 900, 1000, why can't Gen 3 handle 11, 12, 1300? It's just not how it works. I don't think it's the direct injection that's hurting it. I just think we just had a Instagram chat, Junior and I, and we think it has to do with just the manufacturing. You know, I think there's a lot of inconsistencies with how the motor was built. A lot of people blame the actual sleeve material or the cylinder wall material that is now different, and they might have a valid case when it comes to that. But this is what my opinion is. If you want to go naturally aspirated and keep the motor that it came with, Gen 1 is the way to go. Cobra Jet, LU47s, PMOS, E85, booster pump, whether you use FTW, E85, or Ignite. The car with 373s, a slick, some minimal suspension mods, is a 10-second car, and it'll last a long time at naturally aspirated. Gen 2 can also do really well with being naturally aspirated, but it needs a little bit more suspension work, but not that much more. And I've seen cars go well into the 10s naturally aspirated in Gen 2, but where it really shines, in my opinion, is when it's boosted. When you put a set of twin turbos on a Gen 2 motor, it absolutely gets it. Gen 3, very good naturally aspirated. The A10 is stout. The MT82, as you've seen me break them, I'm not a big fan, so I'm not going to power shift or recommend you get a manual. I'm going to road race mine, so that's different. But the A10 2018 and up Mustang can go 10s with long tubes, E85 and 410s. Plain and simple. We've done it. Many of our customers have done it. We think it's easily doable. So it is up to you what you want to do. You want to boost the car, run 8s, 9s, Gen 2. You want to do naturally aspirated and run 10s and slam gears? Gen 1. You want to be the latest and greatest, run NA and run 10s and be happy with 10s. You're not going to just be happy with 10s, trust me. Get a Gen 3. But when it comes to big boy boost, I would stay away from Gen 3, revert back to Gen 2 and the 6R80, because as of now, I still believe that Gen 2, when it comes to boost, in its current form, is better than the 2018. So hopefully this video helps you out a little bit. Again, this is all my opinion. Just take it with a grain of salt. But this is based on my experience, what I see out there, and data that I've collected along with other tuners out there that we've shared. So hopefully this helps you out. Thanks for watching. Talk to you later.